Sitting here at this truck dock in North Carolina, and I thought I would. Yes, my truck's a little messy. Sorry about that. A little under the weather, got a slight cold. Yes, truck drivers do get colds, and it's almost over. It's been 4 days. Taking good care of myself. Dayquil, not NyQuil. Um, I was sitting here on my trip down here, and I thought, you know what? I ought to make a video about my coin collecting. Yes, I'm a truck driver who collects coins. And you ask yourself, why? Well, first off, I don't like change in my pocket, and pennies are completely useless to me. So there's the pennies, and when that thing gets full, I'll find some homeless guy who's standing at a red light, and I'll hand a cup of pennies out to him, and it'll make his day. I don't know why. By the time he gets done counting my $5 worth of pennies, he could have filled out a job application, but they seem to like them. So the silver I keep. And I remembered back when I was 3 years old, my grandmother used to hand me a tobacco sack full of wheat pennies. And this was in 1970. I was born in 1966, and she died shortly thereafter. Don't remember this woman ever saying a word to me. I remember her smile. I just remember her coming over with these little bags of wheat pennies. And it didn't really dawn on me until I started holding onto my change what I wished I could have learned back then. And that is how quickly this stuff comes out of cycle. I was born in 1966. If you go, what is this, 2020, right? So what's 100 years ago? 100 years ago is 1920. And if you go into any antique dealer and look for a coin that says 1920 on it, it's going to be packaged up, and you're going to pay some money for it. Not a lot of money, maybe 20 bucks, but it won't be face value. And that's how quick 100 years gets away from us. So just for the fun of it, I thought, every time I get some change in my pocket, I'll look at these and I'll see which ones are older than me. I'm 53 years old. I plan to live another 53, so I'd be 106 years old. Laugh if you will. But it's amazing how quickly 100 years gets away from us. And 1963 and earlier, the quarters were all silver. I don't know about the others, so I just started going through these, and I realized that 70s are pretty easy and readily available. 80s and 90s, sure, there's plenty of those out there yet. But 1960s starts to get a little scarce. 1950s are almost unheard of, and 1940s are really hit and miss. They're just, this isn't the first bucket of change I've gone through. I've gone through several. But that being said, in 20 years from now, anything that says 1940s will be 100 years old. Now, I'm not trying to get rich off this. I'm not trying to make a big coin collection. I'm just saying the government takes them out of circulation. And everything that is older than 1968 is either in somebody else's collection or out of circulation, which means if you're looking for coins that are older than 1960s, it gets real hit and miss. And when I was a kid, silver dollars were common, and I can't begin to imagine where to even begin to look for a silver dollar. I don't think you can go into the bank and ask for them. I don't know, I could be wrong. But when in 40 years from now, 1960, well, a few more than that, in 2066, every coin that I have that I'm saving will be 100 years old or more. Some of them will reach 100 years before that, but I just wanted to make a point. The wheat pennies that my grandmother was giving me when I was 3, I think I got maybe 2 in there. But in there's everything that I've collected that's older than 1969, we'll say. If it says 1960s, I throw it in there. and I got one 1940s wheat penny, and I got one 1940s nickel. I don't have any Buffalo nickels. I don't have any old dimes, and I don't have any silver quarters. And I don't think I have anything in the 1950s. I got a couple from the 1940s. But that is my coin collecting concept. Maybe one day when I die, I'll leave this coin collection of mine to somebody, and maybe they can make some money on it. Maybe they can hold it for another 100 years. I don't know. But that being said, I had a green light and then it went red again. So I guess I'm not sure if I'm pulling out of this dock or not. Anyway, I won't pull out of the dock on a red light, but it was green. So we'll just stop right there and do that right there and find out what's going on. In any event, it's a fun little thing I'm doing. Going down the road just gives me something to do. Every time I buy something, I'll look at my change and I'll drop it in the appropriate bucket, and I'll see if I get lucky. Have a great day.